As a reminder, in Shelby versus Holder, the Supreme Court struck down an important provision of the Voting Rights Act. It's no longer the case that states are prohibited from making changes in their voting rules if they disproportionately affect or disenfranchise a minority group. Under Shelby versus Holder, a state can make changes in their voting regulations unless it can be proved that their intent was to discriminate. Let's look closely at Georgia in the 2018 governor's election. The state has instituted a new policy of exact match. If even a single character differs between a voter registration form and a driver's license, a space, a hyphen, a typo, a difference between the middle initial and a full name. If any of those are different, registration is thrown out. Georgia hasn't produced any evidence that eliminating registrations this way actually reduces fraud. Who's in charge of this entire process? The same man who's running for governor, Georgia Secretary of State Brian Kemp. Particularly suspicious, more than 2/3 of the on-hold voter registrations, more than 2/3 of those rejected registrations come from African American Georgia voters. I didn't mean to. The state attempted to close a number of polling places in predominantly African American areas. For example, in Randolph County, the state attempted to close 7 of the only 9 polling places there. Black Votes Matter chartered a bus and picked up a busload of elderly voters from the Senior Center in Jefferson County. Strangely, they were prevented from getting to the polls by the county police and by state officials. The county had an explanation, but not a particularly convincing one. 2 separate court decisions just before Election Day found fault with Georgia's process. A couple of days before Election Day, Kemp announced without evidence that his office was investigating the Georgia Democratic Party on charges that they had hacked or attempted to hack into the voting system. Do you need some proof? Some need some proof. On Election Day, with the polls showing a deadlocked race, Georgia's election was plagued with non-functioning voting machines, long lines, even voting machines without plugs and missing extension cords. The state insisted it was just a mistake and a coincidence that all these difficulties predominantly affected Black voters. I didn't